Hello everyone, welcome back. Today let us discuss about research evidence on intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is very popular these days. You'll get lot of information about it. Does intermittent fasting is effective to lose weight? Is there other health benefits? So let us look at what is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting involves patterns of eating and fasting. So there are two types, day restricted fasting and time restricted fasting. Day restricted fasting means restricting calorie intake to certain days in a week. For example, alternate day fasting or periodic fasting, that is the common one. 5 days of eating normally and 2 days fasting, or restricting calorie to 500 kilocalories. Time restricted fasting, it restricts intake to a number of hours in a given day. For example, 8 hours of eating and 16 hours of fasting. Usually people follow eating from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. or sometimes people follow 12 a.m. 12 to 8. Different patterns can be followed. So that is called time restricted fasting. So let us look at the evidence from a systematic review which is published in 2021. So some of you are familiar with what is a systematic review. For those who are not familiar, I would like to explain what is a systematic review. Systematic review, as the name implies, it is systematically reviewing the research studies on a given topic. So rather than looking at individual studies, in systematic review, comprehensive searching is done for research studies and also analysis of a collection of research studies and arriving at conclusions. So it is more stronger than individual studies. So what did the systematic reviewers do? They compared 18 randomized control studies in adults more than 18 years of age. So randomized control trials are considered as a high quality type of research studies which help us to find that something is effective or not. So in this particular systematic review, 18 randomized control studies are looked at to arrive at conclusions. So there are some studies compared intermittent fasting with usual eating and some studies compared intermittent fasting with energy restricted diet. And the outcomes looked at are body weight, blood sugar and cardiovascular problems. So when we look at the body weight, so the results of the systematic review shows that intermittent fasting with usual eating is compared in 7 studies and they found a reduction of around 3 kg in 3 months. So it's a short-term outcome. In 3 months period, there is a reduction of 3 kg. That is, this finding is coming from 7 studies which compared intermittent fasting with usual eating. That means there is no energy restriction. So the second set of 10 studies which compared intermittent fasting with energy restriction diets, and the reviewers found that there is only a slight reduction in body weight. It is around 0.8 kg. That means it is almost 1 kg reduction, short term reduction in body weight and no effect in medium term. Coming to blood sugar, there is not much change in blood sugar when intermittent fasting is compared with other types of feeding. There are some other interesting findings from this systematic review. The participants did not experience any side effects of intermittent fasting other than mild headaches. And there was not enough data on cardiovascular problems or heart attack, though the systematic reviewers was interested to know that intermittent fasting has any impact on cardiovascular problems, but they could not get enough data to analyze and come into conclusions. Few studies, there are 4 studies look at long term, that is more than 3 months. So when we say short term, it is around 3 months. So long term outcomes, they did not find much difference. Only 4 studies looked at long term. So from all this, we can come into conclusion that more research studies are needed to find out the long-term impact, because it doesn't mean that this particular systematic reviewers did not find enough evidence on intermittent fasting on cardiovascular problems. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have an impact. It means that we need more studies, and more long-term studies which looked at long-term outcomes are needed to get proper conclusions about that. So the authors also mentioned that the research could change when we get more evidence about this topic. When more research studies comes, the results could change in future. So in conclusion, from the limited evidence, we can conclude that intermittent fasting was seen to be superior to no specific calorie restriction in reducing weight. I would like to mention some other research studies related to the topic. There is another study published in 2017. These are individual studies, not systematic review. So in 2017, the study looked at whether a different type of periodic fasting reduced blood sugar. So this is a study of around 100 people, and they underwent a series of 30-day cycles of periodic fasting. So this is a different pattern. 25 days of unrestricted eating and 5 days of restricted eating. And they found that there is an improvement in blood sugar. So after the 3 cycles, some subjects who started the trial found there is an improvement in the blood sugar. So this is a finding from the 2017 study. And there is another study looked at why people, like we thought intermittent fasting, people will lose weight and everything will be fine, but why people are not losing weight. So this study, the purpose of the research was that, and they found that people cheat on their intermittent fasting diet without realizing it. So it says that, so during the period of fasting, they fast, and when there is like the normal eating period, people tend to take more calories. So that will not help. Like if you are having like 16 hours fasting and 8 hours eating, during the 8 hours also we need to have a watch on the calories. If you take the unrestricted calorie intake, that means the effect of intermittent fasting will not be seen. So that is what this particular research says. Then another research about skipping breakfast, whether it will work. So the finding says like 6 weeks of skipping breakfast reduced physical activity and increased calorie intake at later meals. So just skipping breakfast alone will not be sufficient, because later on the other meals there is a tendency to take more calories, and also skipping breakfast reduce the physical activity of the person. So let us look at the key messages. So for a diet to lead to weight loss, calories burned must exceed calories consumed to produce a calorie deficit. So that is a basic principle. And intermittent fasting is not a miracle diet or a quick fix. It helps some people as they find it easy to follow and fits in their routine. Because some people say, I hear people most often say that skipping breakfast is an easy thing to do, and so that will work for them. But skipping dinner may be a better option and better for health than skipping breakfast. Skipping breakfast is not a good option. So being more mindful when eating before and after a period of calorie restriction, that is very important. So whatever we are eating, during the period of eating also we have to be mindful about eating, and you need to have the correct calorie requirement of, like each person has their own calorie requirement. In my earlier video I have talked about the calorie requirement, how to have a rough estimate of our calorie requirement based on our weight, based on our activity and so on. So that calorie requirement has to be maintained. And also incorporate exercise into diet plan would lead to sustainable weight loss. No matter how you lose weight, your metabolic rate is likely to decrease. So that is one thing we have to keep in mind. So regular weight training or strength training is very important. Resistance exercises are very important to build up the metabolic rate. So these are the key messages I would like to highlight in this video. If you would like to have more information, please refer these sources. You can read about it. And thanks for watching the video. Goodbye.